Okay, let's see if you can follow along with this. This is chapter 12. The workbook page is 95 and it's section D. We're going to analyze this figured bass line, add Roman numerals, add a soprano line, fill in the inner parts, and add some NCTs. Okay, so let's begin. And right along with me, we're going to work out number 1 together, then you'll do number 2 for homework. So here we're seeing a key signature of nothing, but we have G sharps. So A minor is given to us, and we'll look at the first note, no figured bass symbol, so that will be a 1 chord. Notice it goes up an octave. That's the same as if it were the same A, and it means I'll need to do some arpeggiating up in the upper part. So I'm going to make a note of that so I remember. The G sharp is the leading tone. It has a 6, so a 6th above G sharp. 1 G sharp, A, B, C, D, E is the 6th note, or you can say the G sharp is the 3rd. So this is an E major chord. This is the 5/6. Okay? Back to the 1. This is F, but it's a D minor chord because a 6th above F is D. It might also help you to write these lead sheet symbols as you go so that you know later what chords you're going to be putting in. A minor, okay. So here we have the 4 chord, D minor, as we said, and then the 6th above C is A. So A, C, E, that's back to A minor, a 1 minor 6. Coming again to D with no figured bass, that means it must be the 4th note of the A minor scale, root position D minor. I'll write that up here, back to A minor here, back and forth using a lot of 1 and 4. Back again to 1. Then we have something interesting. We have an E with a 4th above. That would be an A. Could be up here. And then going down to a sharp. Now remember, when the sharp is by itself, it refers to the 3rd. So this is a G sharp. This is actually going to be a 4/3 suspension. So, or it could be a 4/3 suspension if I were to put an A here. Just thinking ahead, a possibility. All right, but this is the 5 chord. The 4th is held over and goes down to the 3rd and back to the 1. So we have E here, A minor, and A minor to end with. Okay, so now let's get a soprano line. Yours might be totally different from mine, but at this point, let's work it out together. I'm going to start with a C. And I'd like to get some contrary motion, so I'm going to come down to an A. Remember, I can use any part of the chord. If it is a root position, I have to remember when I go back that the root needs to be doubled. Except if it's the leading tone, we don't double that. All right, so on my E chord, I think I'll use the B, the 3rd. That makes it nice and smooth. Later we'll add NCTs, but we never want to depend on those to make it smooth. Stepping up to a C, that makes a nice line there. And continuing up as the bass line goes down gives me good contrary motion. Continuing up again to an E, still good contrary motion. Then I have to be thinking about whether I want my focal, and I think I'm going to have it right here. I'm copying the half note. That might change later if I decide to change it with the NCTs. Back to A. I'm being careful not to use improper parallels. I meant back to A minor. And then I'm going to end with an E. I could keep my E going all the way, and I think I'll try to do that, just a long E. That could change as we put NCTs in. But first, we'll do the next step, which is step 3, fill in 1 or 2 inner parts as specified. Here we're adding alto and tenor. All right, so in my beginning I do need to double my root, so here's another A. And I need an E. And the tenor can go up to a C because remember I want to arpeggiate when I repeat the chord. Okay. And I think I'll keep my alto on an E. I think I'll keep the alto on an E even over to here. So we'll make this a dotted half note E. The tenor, let's have that go down to a B because we do need the B in the chord. We need to make these chords complete. Now I have a 1 chord. Again, I need to double the A. I think I'm going to take care of that with the tenor right there. Keeping the alto a little boring right now. Maybe we can enliven that a little bit later with the NCTs. Then to D minor, I can double the F. Remember in the first inversion, you can double whatever makes it the smoothest. Then for the A minor chord, I need in my tenor, well, first of all, let's make this tenor a half note A for beat 2. Okay, now on the tenor on the 3rd beat, how about a C? It's a bit leapy, but not so much. And A in the alto. Staying on the A in the alto. And by the way, I'm hearing this in my head. I can't really show you on the piano as I go, but you should play every bit of it as you go. Coming down to the A here, and then I would like to go to a C to complete this chord. This is probably going to be a half note. And this will be, that's complete in that measure. Now I'm finishing. I think I'll leave this tenor where it was, the 4-3 here. A, G sharp, back to A. Leading tone should go to A. It doesn't really have to in an inner part, but it sounds smooth there and there's no voice leading problems. I do need the B. That's going to cause that tension with the 4-3. The B against the A, and coming down to the A. Good. So that's nice. If you were to play it right now, it's interesting, but it could be more interesting with NCTs. So let's add and see what we get. I'm kind of looking at all the parts together, but as I see in the soprano line, there's only really 1/3 there, and I'm going to use it to put a passing tone right here. So I label it, put a P there. Okay? I think I'll leave the soprano part for now. How about in the alto? I see a place with 2 A's, and I'm going to make a neighbor there. Now you may try these and decide you want to do something totally different. You might like something else better. It needs to sound pleasant. The non-chord tones should add some tension, which the B is going to do with the C. Okay, and I think I would like to put in a suspension. So it does say to put in a suspension. No, it doesn't. Sorry. Let's look at this number 4. Add some stepwise NCTs to each example and label them. The ones you may use are just in this chapter, okay? Not the ones we went over, but the passing, neighbor, suspension, or retardation. The others will be covered more fully in the next chapter. Let's stick with these for now and really learn especially how suspensions work. Okay, so in the alto, I'm going to make a suspension here because I see a step down. Now, the note of resolution is already present, the A, but that's because it's an octave. This is going to be a 9/8 suspension. So I'm going to hold my B over. I'll write another B, It's going to cut the note value in half and then put the A there. I can tie it if I like. And then I'm going to write the number of the suspension. It's an octave plus 1, so it's a 9/8. You can put it up here with it, or you can write it just down with the figured bass. Very clear if you do that. Okay, let's have a look at the tenor. You don't want to make too many things at the same time, because you'll, for instance here, if I put a passing B, it would obscure the chord. It's really better to not have too much going on at the same time. All right, so looking at the tenor, it's a lot of back and forth between A and C, back to A, C, A, goodness. So let's change that a little bit right here. Let's put a B in, make this a quarter note again, and a B passing tone, okay? All right. Anything else? Let's look in the bass. I think it would be really nice to find a bass suspension, and I'm looking for this at this step down right here. Okay, I know it's written in the book, so I'm just actually going to cross it out here. I'm going to hold my A over, and there I get the second. Do you see that? And when it goes down to the G sharp, I get the third. Notice I'm really trying to write these lined up. Don't write it after, don't write it way out here before. It has to be lined up with the beat. So ideally I would rewrite that so it's the beat is all lined up. That is a 2/3 suspension, and I'll write it right there. Okay, play it, see if you like it, and then work on number 2.